this is Shabby from Two Shabby Shoes. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. I'm going to be showing you my design team project for Shabby Art Boutique's latest digital collection, Linen, Lace, and Paper. Such a beautiful collection. I will be putting all of Shabby Art Boutique's information in the description box below for her Etsy shop, so you can check out this collection and all of the other ones that she has available. And the pop-up, she has pop-up cards and print and makes and so many fabulous creations for you to purchase and do an instant download. And you can print it home, or you can download onto a thumb drive, take it to your local print shop and have them print for you. You can even upload to Walgreens, I think Walmart, Staples. You can upload on their websites, and they will actually send them to you if you can't actually get to one of their locations. But I also put in a link to her newsletter, Shabby Art Boutique's newsletter, the Simply Shabbylicious Facebook page, and her YouTube channel. So in today's collection, Linen, Lace, and Paper, there are 93 elements. And when you get the elements, you can create all of this by layering them on top of each other, and it takes out all the background. It's just an amazing experience. And there are 34 pages of fussy cuts, and there are 14 different background pages, which she has provided to you in, you can get an A4 or in letter size. And then she has given us journal pages. She's given us smaller condensed, so you can make little notebooks or even smaller size journals. So I'm going to show you some of these, and then I'll get into the flip through of my design team project. So here are the background pages that she provides for us, and she's done lots of collaging, and you can create big from the A4 and the letter size. Look at those gorgeous roses. I love how she does all of her collaging. And these are the journal pages that she's provided to us. Now, you'll get two files. One is journal size papers that she has actually put together. And these are what I'm going to show you in my design team project. I'll show you how I've used this set of papers. And you see how you can just fold them right here, and there's no gap. And then this style, she has them where you can cut them and use them separately, which is nice because sometimes it's hard to see exactly where to fold or to cut. And or if you want to have a margin all the way around your journal size, then this is good to have. So, and then she also provides us with them a 4 to a page, and those come out really nice as well. So these are all just the journal size here. And here are some of the fussy cuts. And yes, as I normally do, I started my design team project and cut everything up before I started the flip through. So I printed them out again, so I have plenty of fussy cuts and papers to choose from for future projects. Lots of tickets and tags of all sizes, and bingo cards. And here's some of the journal cards that she's provided for us, and they have some lines on there for journaling. And I've made a notebook out of these two. I've just folded them in half instead of cutting it down the center for journal cards. And all these postcards, and you'll get A4 and letter size, as I said before, but you also get PDFs and some JPEGs. So you can do so much with these. And these are pockets for inside journals or whatever you decide to make. You don't even have to put this on a journal. You can put it on a tag. And she provides some tabs, and which I'll show you in my design team project. I have used these and some scraps from other pieces of the paper to make more tabs. I think I have an unhealthy obsession with tabs. I love them. And she's given us some file folders, and I've used those in the design team project. And I will show you how. And she's resized them for us, and she's printed them 2 to a page for us, so you can have smaller ones. And I've used some of these as well. And there's a couple different size envelopes, and I've used those. And here's some more of the loaded pockets, or loaded envelopes that she has done. Her collaging, I just love it. Love, love, love it. And these are swatches for you to do your own collaging, make tabs with them, make journal cards, ephemera. Sky's the limit for what you can do with these. And these, just for an example, if you were to bring these into one of your other programs from the Elements file, you can resize them. So if you wanted to have it longer or a full page, you could actually make it a full page. And then she she put together a mini digital kit. And look at this paper. Oh, I love this one paper. And there's some buttons and some roses and a couple of tags, but look at this paper. Absolutely perfection to me. Just so gorgeous. I love it. And this one is so cute too. And I've used these within my design team project as well. And then she provided them into journal pages, so you could actually put them into with the other journal papers, which I'm going to show you how I did mine. And my flip through is, I'm going to say that it is for a beginner. I know that there's a lot of new paper crafters out there, and I think that it can be intimidating, to say the least, on where to get started. And I'm going to break it down in my design team project. And yes, my cover is a little bit elaborate, but the whole inside is pretty basic, using just the elements from within the kit. And before I decided to go basic, I did pull in 2 papers from 2 of her other kits, Forever Friends and Field of Flowers, which I will put those links in the description box. But once I realized the direction that I wanted to go, I stopped using those papers and decided to stick exclusively to linen, lace, and papers as much as possible, so that any of the beginners, you can see that you don't have to have all of the you don't have to have all the laces and the trims and the bling and the you can go strictly with the paper and cutting to create your first journal or your second, or even just a folio. You don't have to have all of the, the glitz and glam, which is, if you're just beginning, you may not have your collection complete. So I'm going to clear all of this out, and I'll bring in my design team project so that you can see what I have done. Here is my design team project using Shabby Art Boutique's Linens, Lace, and Paper. And see how it it definitely looks fancy, and I did the outside fancy, but the inside is what I would really like you to see, that you can go basic. So I do have some vintage laces on the front and on the cover, and I'll explain to you these things on the spine. But I had this vintage lace, and I'm just using, it's for my closure, and it's not going to hold it tight, and you can see that it's, you know, it's pretty chunky. This is really just to hold it closed. It's not, you know, holding it tight. So, but this elastic is just gorgeous. And I hand sewed with some silk ribbon. I did some little flowers, and I did some buttons with the same flowers and the same ribbons, and did a cluster here. And these buttons are from my wedding dress. I made my wedding dress, and these were leftover buttons that I had up the back and on the cuffs of the sleeves. And here's the back. And you can see that I used the papers from the kit and then put the lace over it. And you see how pretty that looks. I did the same on the front. I've got the pink with the lace, and then one of the journal cards here. Actually, it's background paper, the blue one with the band across the top. And this is just elastic, and it comes right off, kind of like a garter, but it's just, this whole thing just reminds me of 40s maypoles and just beautiful Easter. So I used one of the cards that she had provided, and it's for buttons. And again, here's one of the buttons from my wedding dress, and these are vintage buttons that I had from my collections, and these I was recently gifted from my Aunt Jeannie, boxes of my grandmother's sewing kits that she had in her storage for quite some time. And I've used the buttons from her collection, and I did the silk ribbon roses on there. And a couple of the tags, and I did use the die cut to cut out some of the tiny doilies. But, you know, you don't have to use all of this stuff on there to make it pretty, because the papers really stand alone. They're absolutely gorgeous. So this fabric was from a wedding dress, the cover, and I wrapped it on the inside of the front and the back. There was from a wedding dress that I was able to get, was fortunate to get at one of my local thrift shops. And it was brand new, still had the tags on it and everything. It was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I've used the lace on quite a few things. But again, I did some hand embroidery with some silk ribbons. And these are the lace holders, lace cards that Carrie Ann gives us in the kit. And I used my lace cards, so I didn't put all of them in here. And this ended up actually being an ephemera holder for me at this point. I kind of have an idea of of a direction I want to go with it, but I have the fussy cuts and everything put inside so that I can expand on it once I get my pictures out, because I think I want to go in a certain direction. But I just use glassine bags. I put tabs on each of the pages, and because I'm not sure exactly of the direction I'm going to go, I'm going to leave them blank, and then I can either customize them per year or event, because I would like to do some vintage, which I will show you here. This is the paper, one of the background pages, and one of the, you know, you get the junk mail, the envelopes. I just glued paper on top of it. I cut it out to make the window, and this is one of the postcards. I put a tab on there, and yes, this is me right here, and my brother and 3 cousins. I think this was 1967. I think it was 1967. But growing up, we went to, Mom would take us on road trips, and we would go to Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is where my family is from. And we used to be called Easter Vacation, and now it's spring break, but it was Easter Vacation, and we would go, and I have so many fabulous memories. And one of the things that I just absolutely love about this particular kit, but a lot of Carrie Ann's, a lot of Shabby Art Boutiques design, is they remind me so much of my Granny O'Neill in Lake Charles. And I don't know if she actually had any wallpapers and things in China and that have these particular closeness in the patterns, but it just that feel of her two-story home. Used to lay up in the bed and watch the squirrels jumping from trees, and we would have talent shows, and oh my gosh, this house was just amazing, and she was amazing actually. But anyway, this is the just a mailer, just an envelope, and there are 2 pockets here. When I glued the envelope down, I only glued it on the 3 sides so that I would be able to put more inside if I wanted to. And what I would like to do is to gather different photographs from the Easters past, and to bring back the memories of the phenomenal Easters we used to spend with our family. And this is another padded or another window envelope, and I created a tag using the background pages and glued the bunny, and I've got another vintage button here. And this is one of the tags that comes in the strip of train tickets, and I just took it from the Elements and I enlarged it. And then I just used scraps of paper for hinges, and this is one of the fussy cut bunnies, and this was another die cut that I had for a doily so that I could put you know, anything that I wanted to back there. But you can see how cute that would look with a tag back there, or even just a little note. And again, she provided us with 3 or 4, I think 4 tabs, and because I love tabs, I decided to use some of the scraps from the background pages and other elements from the kit and make more. And although there are some that are the same, they're mostly different. And so here I have used a glassine bag, and I have put the postcards in. And see, when I decide what exactly I'm going to be doing with this will be great for photographs. And then you can just pull them out and look through them. I know that we as a family have lots of things from when we were kids. And when I say we, my cousins and my brother and I really would like to have some of those in here. And here I took one of the background pages, and this is also one of those that you print out. It looks like tea stain. And then here's some of the smaller train tickets that she provides with some fussy cuts, and one of my die cuts. And here I started to do this, and then I ended up not using it in here, so I just tucked it in so that I could use it for future. But this again is one of the tickets here, and I enlarged it through the Elements and my my design program. And here's one of the journaling cards and one of the postcards. But what I wanted to do was to make this an actual pocket on a page. And I see how I've cut the outline of the roses out, and I would glue this part down and glue this, the top, the back side, and the bottom. That way these could fit, or photographs could fit right in, and it would be a tuck spot in a page. and you could put a letter or you know, more journaling cards. There would be plenty of room to fit, but because I ended up not using it within, so I just tucked it in here so I would have it for future. And here's all of the bunnies. This is one of the pockets that she provides to us. And then I did some fussy cutting of the bunnies. And this is the top of one of the journal cards. And some cheesecloth, and just tucked them in so that they're all ready for when I get ready to do more. Because I would like to, you know, put them on the corners of, and use them for tuck spots for pictures and things like that. And this is, I did a policy style holder. And this is just scraps of, I think it's actually a bed sheet, but, and then some more of the vintage buttons that I sewed them on and covered them with some of the fussy cut flowers. And this again is one of the enlarged tickets that she provides for us. But one of the other things that she provides to us in the kit is, these are sample cards, and this is how they will come. And you can print on the back, and which I've done both. I've done a couple of different ways here. You can print double-sided, or you can print on the one side, and then I glued some book page on the other side just to give it a different look. But the sample cards have a line for you to score and fold over so that you can then put in some of the samples of the laces and fabrics, or even just papers. You can make, if you did papers, it would be a cute little little notepad if you wanted to make notepads out of them. But I did the one, and I feel pretty certain that I have some fabrics left over from Easter dresses that I have made in the past for myself and for some of the little girls that have been in my life. And so I was thinking of putting some of those in as well, with maybe with a picture of them. So many different uses for these. If you don't journal every day, which has never been my thing, is to journal, and shamefully, right? I've had so many fun adventures that it would be nice for myself to go back and read them and to remember in full detail. But I didn't, and lots of people don't. But there's so many other uses for these. This is one of the envelopes that she provides to us, and I just had some vintage lace and a button from my grandmother's button collection. And inside here is the 2 journaling cards that she put close together on the page, right? So that it was lined up nicely for us to print out. Well, I left them together, and it makes a really cute little notebook. And inside, I took the journaling cards and some of the smaller size papers that she provided for us, and I just gave them a rip around the edge and stacked them in there, and I just used a regular staple. And you could cover that up if you wanted to, or you could even punch holes in there with a hole punch. The local dollar stores have hole punches where you could just put a hole punch in there and tie it in with some strings or embroidery flosses, anything, even lace. You don't have to have tons of things. You just have to think a little bit outside, and don't be afraid to do it, because, you know, in the end, it is paper, and nobody wants to mess up the paper we've printed and spent money on printing and for inking. But it is in the end, it's just paper, and there really are no mistakes that can't be fixed and turned into something else. And these are glassine bags that I have had. I've cut the tops off for whatever reason, and these were just the bottoms of them. And I have put in some of the leftover tabs, so I have them for later. And these are the, what's the right word? I'm searching. These are the phrases and things. And yes, I have to use tweezers to get my little fat fingers out so I can get my fat fingers in there. The glassine bags are really, they don't open up. They're not gusseted, so they don't open up as big as they should. As they don't open up as big as you would want for this mini. But I plan on using these, and then I can, I don't know what I'll put in there. Little mementos or other things in there. But the tweezers are working out really well. And there's Bunny and Happy Easter, Easter wishes. One of them says faith and beautiful. And she provides them in several different sizes. And I like the flaps. I created the little flaps on here because then these are not sliding out, although I have to have tweezers to get in there. At least they're not flopping out while I'm, turning pages. And this page is a series of the background papers that I've used. And I used, another thing is I distress inked very little in this particular journal because I wanted the beginners to know that you don't have to have all of the inks and everything because they look perfect without it, right? Like I did a little bit here because I wanted to have the distinction between the two colors. And that's just a personal preference for me. But like this, I did not do any distressing on any of my pages. This was not distressed. I didn't do this one, but I did this one just so I could see the difference in the layering. But here is a pocket here, and I just took the background page, which was in the journal size, and I just cut it at an angle so that I have a pocket there, and I have a pocket here, and here's the other portion of this background page. And I've cut it at an angle, so there is a pocket there. And this particular one, I have under-embellished it because I can't put any more buttons in the inside because it's getting too chunky. So I had to be really careful, and I have to think about what I want to put on here. But this is a little pocket. And this is, again, is one of the journal cards. And I just, I actually took just a Tupperware and I did a half circle and glued it onto one of the journal cards to make a pocket. And I left about 1/2 inch on here and tucked it underneath this particular pocket when I glued it down. So then it creates a flap. And I used a couple of the tickets here to hold some of the fussy cut buttons. And this is a pocket here. So I will be definitely putting another type of pocket here for a photograph or something. I'm just not exactly sure what yet. And here are some more of the tickets that I enlarged. I just think they look so gorgeous. So I wanted to have plenty of those to use in this and future projects. And then I put all of the little eggs that come here. And all I've done here is the envelope. I did this basically the same as I did the tag that I had in the belly band. Right here, where I took the loaded envelope and I cut it right along here so that it then creates a pocket to hold these things. And then I used one of the little pieces from the ephemera kit, the little swatches of fabric to make a pocket here for the tiniest of eggs to go there. So cute. And this is, again, some vintage buttons that I have had in my collection, and from my grandmother as well. And I've sewn them each on to the card before I glued it down. And then I glued the card only on the two sides. And I actually, let's see if you can see. This is actually part of one of the envelopes that I cut off for the window portion. I've used it here so that it expands a little bit more and can hold more. The envelopes are puffier than just gluing a piece of paper down. And you can see that with this. See how tight that, I mean, it's a big piece of paper, and it is tight. And so I put the bingo journaling cards here, and some of them I've printed some of the light colors on the back to have for later. And this particular one I have created using the background pages. I've created several pockets for the tickets, and see, there's no inking, there's nothing. You just cut it and glue them down. Cut the size you want and glue them down, and that is it, ladies. You don't have to have all the goodies. You can have a pair of scissors. You don't have to have scoreboards. You can use your X-Acto knives. It doesn't matter. And these tickets, you fold here. I've left some of them where you can see, so you can shape them and cut them however you want to. You can use punches if you have them. If not, just take a little snip out of it. And these are great for writing on the back of them. They're absolutely wonderful. And then here's some that I had cut off of some pieces when I've used them for the tabs, and what these are the extra ones. And I've created within one of the fussy cuts, I just glued it right on top of one of the background pages to make a little pocket. And here is a tuck spot here. I hope I'm in screen. And this page, although it looks elaborate, it really isn't. These are just cupcake cups. And I think it looks really cute. I had a hard time deciding which direction I wanted them to go, but I just took, these are scraps of paper, and I did ink these. I did for definition, but you don't have to. And I just took plain white cardstock, the fussy cuts, and these are little scraps of the background pages, and I just layered them on top. And here are some of the hearts in different sizes that come within the kit. It's so beautiful. And sorry about all the noise. Roger is moving wood around. It's been cold, and so he's stocking up in the wood, so you'll hear that. So here's one of the other papers that I used from a different kit, but I took these same tickets that come like this in the kit, and I've made hinges out of them to hold. These are the file folders. I told you I did use them. Well, what I did was I cut the tabs off. I have them here somewhere. Let me get them. So I went ahead and cut the tabs off of them, and then I was able to reapply tabs where I needed them. And I'll show you how, I'll describe how I put this together. But I used the hinges so that I could hold all of this in, and you can see the hinges here are underneath this background page for the back of the cover. So this is one of the envelopes that she provides in the kit, and I'm using this for all of the tags, to store those. and another one of my vintage buttons, and I did some silk ribbon embroidery on it, and it just slips right in there. So I took two of the file folders, and all I did was glue them right down the center, straight down the center, and then I took the tags or tickets and glued them here, and then I took another set and glued them in here. I glued these two together and then tucked them underneath this paper. And here's another one of the envelopes, and I have the smaller size tags that she's provided us in here. And this is the back lace. I just didn't have the heart to cut it off, so I just glued across the top, glued across the bottom, and folded it back, and glued these two pieces of shiny beautiful on here. Some little sequins, beads, and pearls that make little flowers. And I did put I put this underneath to keep it from gluing itself down. So I glued that down there, and then I glued that one on there. And inside here, I have one of the smaller file folders, and this is what I created to hold all of the fussy cuts because they're so tiny. And this one, I didn't want the edges to be bent, so I just folded it on the outside. But this is just a piece of parchment paper from the kitchen, and I put all my fussy cuts in here, and that way they're all together and not flopping all over the place. But see, you don't have to have a whole bunch of stuff. You just get what you've got from your kitchen, and don't be afraid to create. Oops, I did forget to put this in. So now I'm going to describe to you what I did with the, how I created the pages and my spine. You can see how chunky this is, but to get out the journal pages, and I'm going to do a short tutorial on how to create based on just using what Carrie Ann provided in the kit, and how I did this, and explain to you what I did to cover the outside of it. So the type of spine that I did allows the pages to lay as flat as possible. And if you don't have, buttons in there, which you don't have to do the buttons, it's all about what you create. If you just do something like this, it would lay flatter. So the pages open up nice instead of lots of ways you can secure your signatures and pages in. Don't allow them to lay as flat as possible. Okay, so I'm going to take all this away, and then I'm going to come back and show you what I have used to create this journal. I'll be right back. Well, I checked the length of the video, and it is way too long to add in the tutorial. So what I'm going to do is do a completely separate video showing the tutorial, so that if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to, because it ended up being quite long because I don't know how to do anything fast. So anyway, I would like to thank everyone for joining me in the studio today while I showed you my beautiful design team project for Shabby Art Boutique's Linen, Lace, and Paper. And I will again put everything in the description box below. So all you have to do is click the link, and it will take you right to her pages. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.